Imagine for a second that someone just handed you the most important book ever written. We're talking about the complete instruction manual for a human being, the genome. But there's a huge catch. It's written in a code you can't possibly understand. So today, we're going to figure out how exactly we're learning to read it. So, thanks to this absolutely monumental effort, the Human Genome Project, we have the text of this book. And it is enormous. We're talking about over 3 billion letters. 3 billion! That single string of characters spells out everything, from the color of your eyes to how your body kicks into gear to fight off a cold. We have all the letters, all laid out. And that right there is the million-dollar question. Or, I guess, the 3 billion letter question. Imagine trying to read a book with no spaces, no punctuation, not even any chapters. Just one single, unbroken line of text. How on earth do you find the actual instructions, the meaningful parts? The genes? This challenge puts us in a pretty fascinating, if frustrating place. You could call it the unread library. We have this incredible collection of genetic information right at our fingertips, but we're basically missing the key to unlock what it all means. It's one thing to have the books, right? It's something else entirely to actually read them. Yeah, having that raw genetic code is pretty much exactly like that. You're standing in a massive library, you're surrounded by all these shelves, and you know they hold the secrets to life itself. But without a way to translate them, they're just beautiful, mysterious patterns. So where do we even begin? So how do we learn to read this incredibly complex biological language? Well, that's where the hero of our story comes in. It's this amazing field of science called gene prediction, and its entire job is to teach us how to make sense of that code. Okay, so at its core, gene prediction is all about using really powerful computational tools. You can think of it like a super advanced translation software, but for our genome. Its main job is to scan that massive 3 billion letter string and pinpoint the exact sequences that are the genes, the specific instructions for building all the proteins that make our bodies work. And that's really the bottom line here. Gene prediction is what turns that chaotic, unreadable string of letters into something that makes sense. It finds the start and the end of each genetic sentence, finally letting us understand what the book of life is actually trying to tell us. All right, so we know what it does, but how does it actually work? How does a computer program learn to spot a gene in that sea of letters? Well, scientists have come up with two main strategies. Let's dig into the first one, which we'll call the codebreaker method. So the technical name for this is the ab initio approach. It's Latin for from the beginning, and that name is perfect because that's exactly what it does. It assumes you know nothing, and it just starts from scratch, looking for telltale patterns and signals hidden right there in the raw DNA sequence. It's pure detective work. So what kind of clues is this codebreaker looking for? Well, it's looking for specific sequences that act like a capital letter at the start of a sentence, a signal that says, hey, start reading the gene here. And of course, it looks for others that act like a period, saying, okay, you can stop here. It also analyzes the grammar of the code, the statistical patterns of how the genetic letters are used. It even looks for things that are kind of like chapter titles. These are called promoter sites, and they announce that a gene is coming up. But working from scratch isn't the only way to do this. If the first method is our codebreaker, the second one is more like a historian, someone who relies on a huge library of existing knowledge to make sense of things. This method works on a really simple but incredibly powerful idea from evolution. If a sequence looks familiar, it probably does something familiar. So this similarity-based approach takes an unknown chunk of DNA and compares it against these massive databases of genes we've already found in other organisms. We're talking mice, fruit flies, even yeast. If it finds a match, that's a huge clue you've just found a gene. Okay, so let's put these two side by side. You've got the codebreaker, the ab initio method. Its biggest strength? It can find brand new genes that no one has ever seen before in any other species. That's huge. But its weakness is that because it's working from scratch, it can sometimes get it wrong, identifying a gene that isn't really there. Then you have the historian, the similarity method. It is incredibly accurate for genes that have been around a long time and are shared across species. But its major blind spot is that it's useless for finding a totally new gene if there's nothing similar to compare it to in the library. So we have two really powerful but also kind of flawed methods. The codebreaker can find new stuff but can be a bit sloppy. And the historian is super accurate but can't see anything new. So what does a modern gene hunter do? Which one do they pick?
Well, spoiler alert, they don't choose. The most powerful gene prediction software today uses an integrated approach. It combines the pattern-finding detective work of the codebreaker with the evidence-based library of the historian. By using both, these programs can cross-reference their findings, which leads to way more accurate and reliable results. It's really the best of both worlds.
And this brings us to the big, so what? Why does any of this really matter? Well, learning to accurately read our own genome is the key to everything. It lets us pinpoint the tiny genetic typos that cause devastating diseases. It lets us design new medicines that target specific genes. It helps us uncover the most fundamental secrets of how biology works. And it even lets us look back in time to trace the incredible evolutionary story that connects every living thing on Earth.
So we've gone from having this unreadable 3 billion-letter text to having a library where the sentences are finally taking shape. The ability to read our own instruction manual is, without a doubt, one of the greatest scientific achievements in human history. And it just leaves us with one profound question to think about. Now that we can finally read the book of life, what story are we going to write next?